Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble News channel. Hey, a 100 millionaire or someone very rich is talking about Bitcoin right now. Someone who hasn't talked about cryptocurrency in a long time. Now, it looks like he might be buying and he might be getting his business to buy too. If you don't mind, please subscribe and turn on the bell icon below the movie to see more videos. Like this one, as soon as I make them, there will also be a link to Margex below the video if you want to start trading cryptocurrencies. You can do that on Margex. It only takes seconds to set up, and if you're thinking, wow, I don't want to long this market stop right now, you could also sell short on the market. To make things as safe as possible, you could always set stop losses and take gains. You can also get a bonus when you sign up that you can use to pay for trades. There is also a link to Coino below the movie. On Coino, you can trade cryptocurrencies and get up to $100. You can get a piece of the $100 million dropped in the woods. That meme coin is pretty small, so maybe it does really well and you get some free tokens that are worth a lot one day. Check out the links below the video, and now let's start. So Michael Dell appeared out of nowhere yesterday. It only says that shortage makes value. Okay, Michael Saylor says that Bitcoin is based on the idea of digital scarcity. What the Bitcoin archive tells Michael's getting Bitcoin is better than getting one. Swan's Corey Clipstein says, tell us you're a Bitcoiner without telling us you're a Bitcoiner. When money is scarce, value creation can begin. When there is too much money, it stops people from creating value. There are 1.7 million views on this video, which means a lot of people have commented on it. Why is this so important? He then says again what Michael already said, which is that Bitcoin is digital scarcity. Why is this so important? Dell is, without a doubt, a big business. If you didn't know, their market value is about $100 billion. They're up 94% so far this year. The amount of money Michael Dell is worth is huge, $115 billion. To put this in perspective, this is about the same as Jensen Huang Jensen from NVIDIA, who has built the biggest business in the world by market value. This is about the same as his net worth, which makes him the 14th richest person in the world. He owns, in case you didn't know, and I just checked, and the Dell company is worth about $108 billion. He owns 59% of it. He also has another $30 to $40 billion in other assets and other companies. He didn't end the chat here though. He says, this is a great account to follow me at. Cookie Monster is a lot of fun, and then he posts this picture of one eating Bitcoin. Okay, this is interesting. He still kind of hints at something, and he has talked about crypto before. Let me show you what he said. Michael Dell must have a lot of money, right? Besides Dell, he probably owns a few other businesses. This is because he owns about $60–70 billion worth of Dell and a $50 billion business. So maybe he's one of those wallets we always look at and buy a lot of. Bitcoin, let's look at the price of Dell stock. This is also a young guy. I mean, 59, right? It's not that old for him. You can see that Dell has grown and grown, just been a great business. It's been up 11% in the last 8 years. It's gone up 110%, 12 times that amount, and I think a lot of us would be happy with that over 8 years. Thus, he might be getting Bitcoin. His business also has $6 billion in cash on hand. He's now writing about Bitcoin. Are you going to see another billionaire use the micro-plan style? It's interesting, maybe he's going to turn his business into a Michael Saylor play. Yes, of course, let's look up the company itself. We might be able to look at how much money they made here. Let's change this to annual, which means that the company makes about $100 billion a year. You can see the cash flow, so maybe a little less some years. Changes a lot between 5 billion and 10 billion. EPS is usually good. These days they've been buying back shares, so they have some extra money coming in. It looks like they're putting the money back into buying their own business. Yes, it's possible that they're looking for something with a slightly higher return right now, selling at a forward P of 15.9%, which means that people aren't even paying as much for it as the stock market as a whole. Now, it's interesting he's talked about Bitcoin before Michael Dell used his dorm room to start a billion-dollar computer company. He said he'd be all over crypto if he were a kid now. Okay, when asked what they thought about young people getting into crypto, whether it was digital assets or other assets like NFTs, Dell says, I would be all over that if I were a teenager right now. He says it's really interesting to him. There are still a lot of details to work out about the business and what kind of investment it is. It's for everyone, and I find it interesting. He said that he has invested in a few tools that make blockchain work. Our company helps many businesses use blockchain technology. Okay, so he has money put in cryptocurrencies, mostly Bitcoin and a few other smaller ones. He has a lot of money. It's possible for him to have a lot of crypto, and remember that he's been rich for a long time. He started Dell, so he owns it. He has a lot of money and has had it for a long time. He works in tech. It's possible that he was in Bitcoin a long time ago. He might be worth even more than we think, and he might be one of these whales that we always hear about. Always want to know who Mr. 100 is. Who is Mr. 100? We've talked about this before, and people also wonder about other wallets. If you spend a few $1 billion in Bitcoin over the course of a year, you probably have approximately $100 billion. I mean, if you're worth $10 billion, most of that money is probably locked up in a business. In other words, how do you get to $1 billion? You most likely run a business. We think a lot of it is tied to a business unless you sell it. That being said, you'll still have to pay a lot of taxes. It means that if you sell your $10 billion company in 1 year, you have to pay 40% in taxes. You probably won't use Bitcoin to buy $2 or $3 billion worth of things. Yes? That doesn't sound like you at all. That means you need a lot of money and should probably use it as a hedge. So how do you buy something worth $3 billion in a year? It's likely that you're worth $50 to $100 billion. I mean that you're talking about a lot of money. The money you get will be taxed, right? It's hard to be one of these big wallets, but maybe there's a way around it. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Dell is one of them. Mr. 1100 is the guy we're talking about right now. He is a big Bitcoin holder who has been very important to this journey. His wallet is one that we always look at, and he may do even more with Bitcoin in the future. He might buy some with his Dell business. I'm interested in what takes place. Thanks for letting me know what you think about all of this below the video. Click on the links below, and if you want to Bitcoin bubble, there's also a link to that below the movie. If you use that link and my code, you'll get 10% off. If you pay with Bitcoin, you'll get an extra 21% off, which is pretty cool. So please click on those links. I'll be there. Thanks a lot. Thanks for that. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.